Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Are you ready to answer some questions about your time at Tufts?
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
So tell us about yourself. What year are you?
So, I'm Ishaan. Nice to meet you. I am currently a junior, so third year, double majoring in political science and history, and perhaps a little too involved on this campus.
Where's home for you?
Home for me is approximately 12,000 kilometers away, Bombay, India.
Nice. What's it like being an international student at Tufts?
Love it. Absolutely love it. You just get such a great, unique perspective into life here, and you just get to celebrate how strong the community is.
What are some good resources for international students to know about, or something that was really impactful for you?
Well, definitely the I Center is your holy grail over your 4 years. Everyone there is so helpful, so sweet, and they have a ton of great snacks, which I think is perhaps the best part of going down there to visit.
Love it. What are some activities you're involved in outside of classes?
Outside of the classroom, I'm pretty involved with the Tufts Daily. I write for their news and arts sections pretty regularly. I'm also co-president of the Leonard Carmichael Society, which is one of our oldest and largest organizations for student civic engagement. I'm involved with Tisch College a lot, and I've also dabbled in hiking with the Tufts Mountain Club.
Nice. Great way to spend your time. What do you study?
So, as I mentioned, I'm double majoring in political science and history, and no complaints so far.
Did you know what you wanted to study before getting to college?
I sort of had a rough idea that I would go towards political science, but being here really helped me figure out that I could pursue both my interest in political science and history in a complementary way, as opposed to, having to let go of one for the other. I think Tufts and my professors really encouraged me to go that route, and being here and double majoring is such a great experience.
What are some misconceptions about people in your majors?
Mostly that people who do poli-sci weren't strong enough to go through with international relations, when I just think it's two really different things you're looking for. Political science is so much more broader, so much more flexible, which is what I really love about it. I've been able to learn about different parts of the world, different things about different parts of the world. Okay, that's really vague, but you get my point. I just love being able to take a class on somewhere in, far away, take a class on America, and just learn about everything. So definitely, it's not that we're not strong enough to go through with IR, it's just that we want different things in life.
In one word, why are your majors the best?
Flexibility, honestly. I mean, there's a lot more words to describe them, including how amazing the faculty are and how much experience that they have. But I would say the flexibility that both offer and the fact that they demand that you take so many diverse classes is probably the best part of being both political science and history.
Okay, imagine. Hall of Fame for political science and history classes. Which ones are you highlighting?
All right, for poli-sci, I am going to highlight, it's actually offered next semester, so please take it. It's with my advisor, Professor Art. It's called Imagining Law and Order in the US. And it looks at film and TV shows side by side with the police and the FBI. So you kind of learn about how film and public opinion and the development of institutions go hand in hand. I say this to everybody to try to get them to take the class. My midterm for the class was a 7-page paper on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know who else I'd be able to do that with, so would definitely recommend that you do that class next semester. And for history, I will have to go with the classic Women of the Byzantium. You know how much we love that class. And it's taught by Professor David Proctor, and honestly, it was like I was watching Game of Thrones again, and brought back all the memories and the murder, but very fun class.
That really was a great class. What's your favorite ex-college class?
So, I actually got to do one my sophomore year. It's so upsetting that never offered again, because otherwise I would encourage all my friends to take this one as well. It was called The Monsters That Make Us. So homework was literally going home and watching fantasy films, horror films, sci-fi films, reading books like Dracula and Frankenstein, and then coming to class and talking about them. So instead of having to read another 20 pages about ancient studies, I got to watch Alien for homework. And my professor provided us with popcorn, so just a plus.
Perfect. What's the most unusual class you've taken, but one you really enjoyed?
Unusual, kind of difficult, but I'm actually really enjoying this one that I'm doing now. It's called Imperial Britain, and it is such a great class that's offered. Again, what I love about the history major is that not only do you have to read papers and essays, but you also get to examine primary sources. So for my research project, for the component of the class that I'm doing, I'm looking at film in interwar Britain, which is, again, so fun because I'm a huge old Hollywood buff. So getting to watch movies with Cary Grant and Gary Cooper is just so nice. It's almost like it's a recreational thing and not even for a class, and then I get graded on it. So again, I swear I'm not lazy. I just love film.
Where do you study the most?
Definitely in this building right here. The Ginn Library in the Fletcher School is such a lovely space. There's a nice little window that overlooks one of our fields, Fletcher Field. And whenever, I get bored or I need a bit of a break, just look out that window, look at the green, especially now in this fantastic weather that we're having. It's just lovely to sit in Ginn and study amidst all the books.
What's one cause that's important to you?
Definitely civic engagement in the local context. When I went back home for my first summer after freshman year, I got to intern with a really cool organization in rural India. And just through learning about so many different things about local life, for example, the way they build their houses, the way their ecosystems work, just taught me how important it is to be able to live in this context and really understand how life works. Because I think over here we like to sit and, in these big buildings and talk about politics and history and this and that. But those people, they're walking the walk.
What's a song that best describes you today?
Hysteria by Def Leppard. It is midterm season. No matter how warm the weather gets, it's always hotter in the libraries.
What are some of your hobbies?
Reading. I love to read. I have a Goodreads challenge and that keeps me accountable. Outside of that, I like a good workout every now and then, heading into the city, exploring what Boston has to offer. And when I get a chance, although been not got that chance recently, hiking, nature stuff, love that.
What's the most recent thing you read for fun?
So actually, now that we are in April, I have to start a new book, and I will be starting Atonement by Ian McEwan. Very excited, although I have heard it is quite sad. So.
What's something you think everyone should read?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to respond to my 10-year-old self and say The Lord of the Rings. It was one of my favorite books growing up, and it's got everything from drama to fantasy to the classic good versus evil, a little bit of romance, and of course the elves. So, Lord of the Rings.
Where's your favorite place to visit in Boston?
Trident, booksellers and bookstore. I think I'll have to go with that, simply because while Boston has so many amazing things to offer, the MFA, SMFA, but Trident is just very special for me because for my 18th birthday, because I already knew I was coming to Tufts by then, my very close aunt of mine gave me a voucher, and I just love to go there and spend and, okay, not spend, but just look at books, and they have a lot of other great stuff as well, so I'll go with Trident.
I love that bookstore personally as well. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Okay, well, if you couldn't tell by the t-shirt, I went to Vietnam over winter break with my family, and it was just such a lovely experience. I think I probably averaged an iced Vietnamese coffee and a banh mi a day, and I would love to go visit again, so I'm gonna go with Vietnam.
Great answer. What's one talent you wish you had?
The ability to do a cartwheel. I saw Kylie do it in the last video, and ever since then, it's a mix of jealousy and just amazement.
Yeah, she's amazing. What's the best way to spend summer vacation?
Definitely a combination of going back home and then traveling somewhere else. Last year, one of my friends got to visit me back in India, and it was so cool because she's lived all her life in Massachusetts, and I got to kind of show her around, take her to the sites, sample the food, which is one of the best parts of Bombay. Another friend of mine is probably going to visit me, and I'm so excited that I get to show him around my home, and then we get to travel together. So I'll go with that combo.
I hope you have a great time.
Thank you.
How do you like to celebrate the holidays around here?
So, winter break, nothing better than getting some hot chocolate. When I was a sophomore and a freshman, that would be either in Duik or Calm. And then just getting together, maybe even having a snowball fight. Though my personal favorite is a snowball ambush, because they're never expecting it. Unless it's you, in which case, well, you just got to walk home with wet hair and snow all over your face, but worth it.
Did you study abroad?
I did not. What I like to say is that since I'm already an international student, I'm technically on a 4-year study abroad, and I wouldn't want to square that or double that. I'm pretty bad at math, so I don't know what the calculation would be.
Did you do a pre-orientation group as an incoming first year?
Of course, I did go, arguably the best one. It was full form global orientation, and yeah, I did it as a freshman. I've returned as staff every year, and I've just always had the best time.
Awesome. Are you still involved in the PREO world?
Of course. As I mentioned, I came back on staff. So my sophomore year, I was a staff member. My junior year, I was actually co-coordinator. And I just found out before spring break that I'm lucky enough to be able to round off my senior year as a staff member again. So very excited for that.
Nice. Am I right that you're on the student executive board for the Leonard Carmichael Society, which is a big historic service organization at Tufts?
Funny you say that. I just spent 3 hours answering emails for us. One of our biggest events is coming up. So in a nutshell, yes, I'm on the executive board in a sort of unimportant role though.
Amazing. Good luck with that event. What does it mean to you to be a leader in this space?
Oh, I think the best part of being a leader is getting to hear all the wonderful opinions on this campus. And I would say that to be a good leader, you have to be a good listener. To be able to get the best out of what everyone has to say, to be able to filter through it, to be able to sift through it, that is what is most important about being a leader on this campus. So I would say leading and listening go hand in hand together.
That's great advice. So there are some really cool student orgs that are under the umbrella of the Leonard Carmichael Society. What's one you want to give a quick shout out to in particular?
Okay, I really have to give a shout out to Tufts Giving Camp. They work with a local disability center in Somerville, and they are so committed and so enthusiastic. We're actually partnering with them for our upcoming day of service. You better sign up.
Amazing. What event stands out to you most from your time leading the society?
Definitely Halloween on the Hill. It's a sort of fun fair that we plan for kids in the local elementary schools. We invite them and their parents onto campus. Everyone comes dressed up. I like to tell people how there was a kid who came as a minion and his dad was a banana. And it's just great having this energy on campus and seeing how involved students here want to be in the community.
That sounds like a great duo. What's the Tisch Student Advisory Council?
So the Tisch Student Advisory Council, or TSAC as we call it for short, is made up of 8 students from very different parts of Tufts. We're all involved with civic engagement and research through Tisch College. We work with Tisch College leadership to give our insights on events and generally just help provide the student perspective from all these diverse areas.
What's been your favorite article to work on as a writer for our campus newspaper, the Tufts Daily?
Oh my god, that is such a difficult question. But if I have to go with one, I did this my sophomore fall, actually for our homecoming edition. I got to cover Tufts Tamasha, which is a student club. It is a Bollywood hip-hop fusion dance group, and I got to learn so much about their members and write about why this organization is so unique and so Tufts in this very wonderful way.
I'll have to find that and make sure I read it. Okay, it's time for the lightning round.
Oof.
Okay, Somerville Fluff Fest, Honk, or Porch Fest?
Porch Fest.
Davis Square or Porter Square?
Porter Square.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Regular at the sink here.
Uphill or downhill?
Uphill, duh.
Winter break or spring break?
Winter break.
Beelzebubs or Jackson Jills?
Jackson Jules. Both are great, but Jackson Jules performed at my matriculation ceremony, so loyal to them.
Special place in your heart, I get it. Study solo or study group?
Study group. That's the one time peer pressure is actually good.
Fall or spring semester?
Fall. I mean, come on, this is New England.
Night owl or early bird?
Aspirational early bird, realistic night owl.
This is the big one. Of our dining halls, Dewick McPhee or Fresh at Carmichael?
Dewick McPhee.
And what residential halls have you lived in?
So I lived in Hill Hall my freshman year and West Hall, aka Hogwarts, my sophomore year.
And what's one thing you brought to make your dorm feel more cozy?
So I actually had this lovely little collection of photos from home that I have from holidays, and it's pictures of my friends and my family, and I hung it right next to my bed, so whenever I would feel a little homesick, especially at the beginning, just have to turn over and see them, and it was suddenly like those 12,000 kilometers didn't exist.
What's the most underrated campus spot in your opinion?
Okay, Ginn Library. I mean, I know everyone loves Tisch and everyone, loves the other buildings to study in, but the Ginn Library is so nice. You just gotta check out the reading room. Sure, you have to be quiet, you can't do group study, but just looking at all those paintings and those books, I mean, that's not gonna pressure you to lock in, I don't know what is.
What's your favorite piece of Tufts merch?
Need I say more?
What's the most Tufts-specific app you use the most?
The dining app, definitely mobile order, simply because if I'm running across campus to get from one end to the other, typically from home to class, I need to pick up a coffee, especially for those 9 a.m.s. So one swipe on Hotang, and before you know it, you've got your hot coffee. Or cold in this weather, I guess. So.
What's the building on campus with the best vibes?
I'm gonna have to go with Packard, right over there, simply because that is home to the political science department. I go there to meet my professors, and I always pass it because I usually have classes on that end of the academic court, so it's become sort of ingrained into my routine these days.
What's the best spot to get a snack?
The sink. I mean, do I even have to answer that? Everyone who works there is practically student royalty, and they do have, as I say often, great coffee, great muffins, great vibes.
Let's get specific. What's your order at the sink?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with the hot call. Although in this weather, I guess you probably opt for an iced call. It's chocolate, hazelnut latte, bliss.
Have you ever painted the cannon?
I have not. Do I want to? Yes. Have I? It's too cold.
And would you guard it all night long as tradition demands?
I am super into tradition, so would guard it all night long, would bring a sleeping bag, blanket, buffer, hat, space heater.
Smart. What are your thoughts on the Tufts weather?
Well, you know what? I like that little bit of unpredictability. I am from Bombay, practically tropical weather, so I like how I get to enjoy snow here. It makes me more grateful for the heat back home when I go over winter break, so I like the unpredictability of it.
How do you celebrate the end of finals?
Typically by checking in for my 24-hour long flight approximately back home, counting the layover, and rapidly packing so I can make it to the airport.
What's your favorite official campus social event that you've been to this year?
Okay, been to, definitely have to go with Fall Fest. I feel like it's so underrated, everyone loves Tufstonias, spring fling, all our traditions, but the best part about Fall Fest is that it's fall, and in case you haven't noticed, I love a good New England fall. It's just so beautiful. Red, brown, gold, everywhere.
Speaking of, what's your favorite activity on Tuftonia's Day?
The Ferris wheel.
Can you sing any of the Tuftonia's Day song for us?
T-U-F-T-S, T-U-F-T-S. That's all I know.
Sounds great to me. What's your favorite shortcut route at Tufts?
Ooh, Dowling elevator. I mean, instead of having to trek uphill, especially in the winter when it feels like Everest, you just press a button and you're there. Dowling Hall for life.
That's a good one. What's your favorite elephant fact?
That they have really good memory. I have had a really good memory growing up, and when I got in, it just made me feel like this was really the place for me because I could recall things in a flash, and so can elephants, so it just made me want to be a jumbo even more.
Perfect. All right, we're in the home stretch here. What's the best piece of advice you've received from a mentor?
Definitely to try everything. It's a piece of advice I received from a student I spoke to before I committed to Tufts, and I think it really has defined my life here. During orientation week, going to every event, talking to everybody, signing up for as many clubs as I wanted, it just made sure that I could take advantage of all the opportunities Tufts was slinging my way and then decide what stuck and what didn't.
Are you looking ahead to graduation at all?
No! In case you haven't noticed, to the last minutes of this video, this campus is practically my home now, so do not want to graduate at all.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, kind of have to tie that back to my major. What I love about poli-sci and history is the flexibility, so I can literally do anything from journalism to non-profit work to a think tank. One of my professors suggested I look at travel writing, so Maybe you'll read one of my books one day, though probably not.
I look forward to it. That sounds like an awesome goal. What made you hear about Tufts?
It was just honestly through one of these random info sessions I signed up for while Googling, schools to apply to, schools that are good for international relations, schools for political science. But what really stood out to me was how happy everyone at Tufts seemed to be. I wanted a good college experience where I could enjoy the community as well as commit to something academic, and I saw that at Tufts, and it's been smooth sailing ever since.
What made you want to hit that final button and click apply?
I mean, as I said, definitely the fact that everyone here seems so happy, and also the community just seems so wonderful. I love that here I can have so many different friend groups, friends from classes, friends from clubs, friends that I just met on the first day of school, friends from pre-orientation. To have that community that supports you, that you can learn from, that pushes you forward, I think that's the best part of being at Tufts, and that made me click apply.
All right. Can you give us your why Tufts in just 5 words?
Oof. Community, as I've already said. Flexibility, being able to explore so much, especially when there's so much to offer. I'm poli-sci, took a lab class my sophomore year just to see what that would be like. So I'll have to go with community. Flexibility. Warmth. Ironically, I know we are in New England, but again, the warmth of the community, however corny it sounds, is enough to offset that freezing weather. Campus, we do have this distinct sense of being a campus and of being, as I said, a community, so that campus fact, definitely very important, as you can see. And last but not least, blue.
Great answer. Okay, last question, we'll let you get back to your work today. What's your best tip for applying to Tufts?
Definitely to be able to imagine yourself on this campus. I know that that's pretty generic, but really everything, whether it's the classes you want to take or a professor you want to work with, but also what you want to do on a day like this. Maybe you want to play football, maybe you want to play catch, maybe you just want to take a walk, but to be able to imagine those small things, your coffee order at the sink, that one club that you're interested in joining for some quirky, unique reason. If you can imagine yourself walking on the screen from one class to the next, I think you're set.
Amazing. Thanks, Ishaan. Great to talk to you. Have a great rest of your day.
You as well. Speaking of walking,